welcome to the Crafty Mini, and in this video a bit of a review of a game I've been just messing about with, trying before I go into and start the actual campaign itself, and that's Rangers of the Shadowdeep. Now with this one, it was a game I've always been looking at playing. I've played other stuff by the same author in the past, which we'll go into a bit later on, but this was sent to me by a fellow YouTuber, a Welsh miniature board gamer. Originally he said he was going to send me just the main rulebook, and he sent me all these extra bits as well, so thank you very much for that. Now over the course of the last few months I've been sitting on this and reading through, trying out little bits of combat and seeing how certain rules work and things before I take the plunge into the actual campaign itself. And this is basically my initial sort of opinion, based on that, and those couple of months of sort of test playing and things, and seeing what I think of the game itself. Now before we get on to that, the author Joseph McCulloch, now I've played several other games from him in the past, so we've got the Silver Bayonet, Frostgrave and Stargrave. Now those games I've played a lot and I've really enjoyed. Silver Bayonet in particular, that one I've completed the campaign with my small French force, and I'm actually in the process of working on an English warband using some Warlord 95th rifles, because I'm a big fan of Sharp, of course. And it's just a really cool setting. You've got this Napoleonics era with mythical creatures and things. It's not to go and spoil it, but go and have a read up. It is a very good rule set. Now, for those of you who are aware, Rangers of Shadowdeep's been out much longer. It's an older game. But when I first picked it up and started reading through the rules, I realised there's a lot of similarities with Frostgrave and Stargrave in particular. So in terms of ease of access, very much so. This is a very good pick up and play. I also like the fact that it's miniature agnostic, so you can use whatever miniatures you have at hand, even if they don't match the actual creatures that you're fighting or your heroes. Just use whatever you've got if needs be, because it's the game itself that's fun. Right, so to start off, what is Rangers of Shadowdeep? So we'll go straight from the actual blurb of the website itself, because I think this sums it up perfectly. So it's a solo or cooperative tabletop miniatures game. You create your ranger by selecting stats, skills, equipment and heroic abilities, and then you round it up with a group of companions and set off on a narrative quest. Its setting is, there is a kingdom that stands on the brink of destruction as a vast realm called the Shadowdeep slowly swallows everything in its path, and as the army fights to contain the tide of evil creatures teeming out of the black clouds, the kingdom's best soldiers, the Rangers, must venture down into the shadows to gather information, rescue prisoners and ambush enemy supply lines. It's a desperate fight against overwhelming odds, but every little victory brings another day of hope. Now first of all, it's a very cool setting and something you can have a lot of fun with. Just reading up on the lore, and then it would also depend on how the campaign pans out, but I'd love to do this as a setting for a more traditional RPG as well. It's just, I've liked the idea of you and your friends being this small elite unit that are going behind enemy lines, but then you've got that entire fantasy element that swings right the way through it as well. Something I'm looking forward to actually playing with. Now the game itself, as I say, it's very simple. It's an easy pick up and play. The creating the characters, the book goes through everything nice and clearly and concise. Very simple to do. You've got these recruitment points that you use for the rest of your group, and then you have to arm them with whatever weapons you can afford and things. And it's a nice sort of, you've got this sort of balance between, do you have lots of minions who are very not particularly well armed, or do you have a few of them that are top end and have a lot more kit and gear and abilities and things? And I like that because it gives you a little bit more autonomy in your choice. You can create a whole narrative and things like that with it. From what I've been going through recently this last few months, really enjoying it. Another couple of cool things to mention is, well, I've not read into the scenarios fully because, as I say, I don't want to spoil the campaign. But at the start of each of them, it tells you what monsters you may need for that scenario, which is really nice because then you have a rough idea of how many of each type of monster you'll need. And again, because it's miniature agnostic, you can use whatever you want. Cardboard tokens if need be. It's on a small playable area as well, 3 foot by 3 foot. Terrain and things pretty simple to lay out. It's got a really cool beastie area at the back of the book, where you can go through and look at all the stats of the enemies you can face. There's some really horrific stuff in there, some cool monsters. It's got a very, I'd say, sort of advanced D&D feel about it. From my perspective, a very, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale sort of feel, which I like. It's a bit of a callback to those older action RPGs from like the early 90s. But yeah, it's very, very fun. I'm looking forward to starting the campaign. Now, with that, originally my plan was I was working on getting some miniatures. I've got them on order. I'll still be doing the painting of those anyway. But then Welsh Miniature Board Gamer hit me up and basically said, could we do a collaboration of something? Now, if you haven't seen his channel, which please go over there and give him a subscribe, because he's got some really good stuff, good paint jobs, unboxings and kit bashes and things. But he's just started a Shadowdeep campaign, which I've watched a fair bit of it. I don't go too in depth with it because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but it's really interesting to see how the story is playing out, and if that's how this game runs, I know I'm going to enjoy this completely. Now, with that being said, so what we were talking about for a collaboration was, is there anything we could do, like a paint job for each other or something like that? And then we came up with the idea of, let's do a ranger or a character for each of us for our parties. So the next couple of weeks you'll be seeing a video of what I've actually painted for him, posting it off, and then the same on his channel as well for what he's done for me. And then the week after will be our unboxings and our first views of what we've sent each other and our honest opinions. Should be a good laugh. It's really nice to have done a collaboration with him, so please go and check him out and watch his videos regarding those 2 episodes. And I can honestly say, because we filmed those now and they're being edited, so what he sent me definitely are going to be in my group. It's really cool. So yeah, thank you very much, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer, for that. It was a cool collab, and I hope we do some more in the future as well, mate. Now, within this game, obviously you've got this overriding story arc, and there are these expansions like Blood Moon and so on, which you'll see here in the video. These are all the extra sort of bits that he sent me, and each of these will have their own. They've got their own unique story and things, from what I'm understanding from what I've read. Because again, I'm not going in too in depth because I don't want to spoil it. And it seems like there's other creatures and things and monsters in there as well. Hi there, this is Future Crafty as I'm editing this video now. So at this point, I've done a couple of the missions from the campaign I've started. I've got the paint jobs coming up soon of some of the characters, plus the things that Welsh has sent me, which you'll see in a couple of weeks. That being said, while I haven't filmed the actual missions itself, I've made really detailed notes of what happened, and I was thinking of maybe doing some sort of like a thematic roundup of each mission with some battle maps or some such. I'm not quite sure yet how it would look. If that's something you'd like to see on the channel, as well as my normal Friday content, I could maybe drop this on a Sunday or a Tuesday or something, depending on work. But what I'll do is, if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments. And what I'll do is I'll work on getting them all edited, and then I'll release them after that as well. So at least you can get to see how the game works as well, in a bit more depth, and what the actual story's like and how it affects future games as you're going on. Because I'm just about to start mission 3, and it's already taken a turn that I didn't think it would go, which is quite cool. And then with the unboxing video of the stuff I've sent, you'll see why episode 3 is really important as well. But yeah, back to normal crafty. And I've really enjoyed this collaboration, and a massive thank you for giving me these rulebooks. This is such a cool game. I'm not sure why I never really got into it initially, considering how much I love McCulloch's other games. But yeah, this is slowly becoming a firm favourite of mine, and one that I'm going to keep. And I'm definitely looking at doing a Rangers of Shadowdeep Let's Play as a proper full RPG. I'm not sure what rule set to use yet, maybe Powered by the Apocalypse or traditional D&D, I'm not sure, but it's definitely something I'm looking at doing. But yeah, and that was just my initial sort of thoughts and things like that. But this is a game I'm definitely going to be featuring more on the channel in the future, whether it's miniatures for it or, as I say, playthroughs and such. But thank you all very much for watching. Next week, as I say, is the painting of Welsh's character and all the little bits that I did for that, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.